Good evening, everyone. This weekend, we watched a pseudo boxing fight. Caitlyn Clark teed it off. We got Astral putter a little bit about that we shouldn't let Steve run the background of this. So, with that, welcome to the Tavern. So one of my buttons didn't work there, and Steve was just taking people off the stage.
I hit the wrong one. Sorry.
I know. I hit a button. It didn't take you off, so I just went with it while we were on there.
Yeah, and I was like, "Why are we there? Wait a minute."
I'm like,
Steve did something wrong. I'm shocked.
Well, I did too. I hit the wrong button, but I just went with it because I know live TV, you just go with it and you don't call out your errors. But then all of a sudden, the screen is flashing, everything's on there. So we were making sure you were all paying attention this week. So with that, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good. What's going on?
Not much.
We are
Penn State.
Yeah, there we go.
I thought you were going to yell.
Number 6, though.
Yep.
Well, technically, we're number 4. We're in the spot because the 4 conference championships get a bye, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the way that it's playing out. I don't like that we played Georgia.
Somebody just joined our show. I'm just going to hold this up here for a second just to make sure he sees it.
Well, I'll make sure same person will love to see this too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a great weekend. I'm going to start off. I mean, I went to the Penn State Purdue game, and I will say to the Purdue fans out there, sorry for the beating we put on your team, but your team is not playing that well. But I had a great time at Ross-Ade Stadium this week. Purdue puts on a great experience at their campus out there. It's also great that it's right next to 2 Pete Dye courses. So we parked on the driving range. They were parking on the golf course, but the amazing part about that is they block off the tee boxes. They block off the fairways. Like you're really parking in the rough in some areas, but people are tailgating. You can tailgate on a golf course and then go to a Purdue football game. It's a pretty cool experience. I will tell you that much.
It's kind of like not that I would want to segue into something, but it's kind of like demo day parking where you park on the tooth at Orange County National and they block off tee boxes and greens.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Shameless plug for the PGA Show. Yes,
but it is very similar to the PGA Show in that matter. So it was a fun experience. I was happier because Penn State looked good and won that game. But what they did at halftime for their seniors and the band, they called out seniors during every timeout that's on there. So it was a fun time. It's no Penn State tailgate, but it was still a great time tailgating at Purdue. So cheers in my Penn State glass to the Boilermakers. What'd you guys do this weekend?
Played golf. Funny enough, I played on Sunday. I got out. It's funny. I've played almost every golf course in Orlando, and I got out on one that I hadn't played in Country Club of Mount Dora.
What's he doing up in Mount Dora?
I'll tell you what.
I've played that course before.
I'll tell you what a good little track. I mean, I played with the Orlando golfer and Mike from WAGC, and we got out and pegged it and had a good time. The starter told the Orlando golfer, and I was the invite. Sorry, Ash. You can blame Mike on that. The starter told Hayden and I that we shouldn't play the back tees. And he said, so what's your handicap? And I said, combined under 10. And he said, yeah, you guys won't break 80. And we both did. But it's a good little track. I will say that. I would, Greg, I know we talked afterwards. I would probably go back out there after maybe when you're down here for PGA Show. I had a really good time. The course was in great shape. It's, you know, it's they were in the middle of their overseed. You could see they had thrown the seed down and hadn't taken yet. But no, I think that golf course would be it's a good little test of golf, and you get a little fun out there.
And I told you going into this, I had actually played it before, and I played it years ago
Yep.
out there, and I wanted to see what you thought about it, because it's a good little track out there that I don't think, just because of how it takes to get out there, doesn't get
Unique
a lot of
unique design in that the front nine has 3 par 3s, 3 par 4s, and 3 par 5s on it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I will say there's a lot of courses like that in that Central Florida area, basically from Tampa up to Jacksonville, in that area, that have some very unique layouts that I think people miss out on because they're not as promoted.
Right. Yep.
Dave, how was your weekend?
I worked. We had events.
That's true.
It's getting that time of year, huh? Almost over.
Yeah.
Well, then you get into holiday parties, and then
Holiday part. Yeah. When I get the week after Thanksgiving, we have almost 6 events over 4 days that we're doing.
Wow, that'll be fun.
So, yeah.
Don't even text Dave. He won't answer. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah.
So let's jump into first round. We had a lot to talk about from this weekend.
Yes, we do. Well, we finally got what we all wanted to see. Tyson versus Jake Paul.
I thought you were going to say Dave have good internet.
No, because we got to see that Dave, compared to Netflix, has a great connection.
That is true. That is true.
So for all of you that give Dave a hard time, including ourselves, you have to realize that not even Netflix, in one of the biggest promoted and hyped up things of all time, has worse internet connection than Dave.
Correct.
Yeah, I would just like to say I'm kind of on the side here of some of the conspiracy theorists here that I think Tyson took it easy on him, and he showed his age for 58 years old, but I can't see many people being 58 years old, and Steve, you could probably speak on this from experience, getting in the ring and doing things like that.
Well, I don't know how
he showed something. He showed something pre-fight that nobody needed to see. We'll just say that.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah.
But I don't know how you show all the videos of him training and him looking like he can move around, and then when he gets to the fight, you made him look like an old man, and he did. I mean, his legs, the minute he was out there, looked wobbly, but you could also tell Jake Paul didn't want to get close to him.
Nope.
Because any kind of uppercut was going to be devastating, because he still has that power.
Yeah, I think Jake Paul, intentionally stayed away from Tyson. He got in, some quick. Yeah, he landed 117 punches according to the card, to Tyson's 19. But a lot of them were jabbed. You didn't really see Mike get too rocked, but I think, at the end of the fight, I think, him bowing, to Tyson in a show of respect. I think Iron Mike should have just decked him and laid him out on the canvas there in the middle of the ring.
Hey,
but
even Jake Paul looked tired.
Muni Kids Golf on Instagram just said mad respect for Tyson.
Yeah. For a 58-year-old to go that long in the fight, like, even if you're staging that, like, he was still, Jake Paul was still punching him. Jake Paul was still out there.
Yeah.
I think Jake Paul could have tried to go after him, but here's the thing. Everyone said from the beginning, it's a lose-lose for Jake Paul, because unless this scenario where you kind of don't really go after him because you don't want to get punched in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Is if you lose, you got knocked out by a 58-year-old man. And if you win, you beat up an old man.
Man, you're right.
Yeah. So,
like, come on, you're in your 20s.
And I'm sorry, his entrance, no,
that pissed me off.
No,
for 2 reasons.
No.
One, he used the song that Tyson had in The Hangover. So
that's where I was like, "What, are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like, that was the first thing that pissed me off, and that it took like 20 minutes to drive that stupid car in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about the bird in the back with that comment. I don't even care about that portion of it.
Right.
And then Tyson walked out, and Tyson just walked out like he was ready to fight, which he was not. Which was surprising
It would have been better though, not the bird, but the tiger from The Hangover.
Oh, if he would have had the tiger in there, I would have been even more pissed off because you just stole everything from Tyson in The Hangover.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the internet has just been filled with fantastic footage of mashup of memes. I think my favorite has been that Jake Paul is now going to take on Babe Ruth in a home run hitting contest.
Yeah, like they just they took their money and ran, and I don't blame them for that. I mean, it was entertaining, but it wasn't the entertainment that I wanted.
The women's championship bout before that was by far the best fight of the night.
That was
went the wrong way.
It did go the wrong way.
Went the wrong way. Like that was awful.
But that was a great fight.
Something else happened in the world of golf last week that I think we should also talk about. That was part of
dangerous?
It was really somebody almost lost a head. However, some of it was really good.
Oh,
and I see really good for growing the game.
Oh, 100%.
And we typically don't talk WNBA on our podcast. But Caitlyn Clark made her LPGA Pro-Am debut last week to the point that it was live streamed in a LPGA Pro-Am, all because Caitlyn Clark was there playing with Nelly Korda, the number one golfer in the face of women's golf, who ended up winning the golf tournament.
And then she played the back nine with Annika.
Is that what it was? I know.
Yeah, she played the front nine with Kelly Korda and the back nine with Annika, who's the host of the tournament.
Nelly Korda. You said Kelly Korda. It's not Kelly. But
whatever.
We'll talk. We couldn't air it because I think we would have gotten in trouble, and we've got our hands slapped once already for showing a smack of the week that was copyrighted. So we decided not to. Caitlyn Clark on the first tee decided to almost decapitate somebody.
Like, it shows that even the best athletes out there, if you're playing in golf, nerves can get to you. And I will say she handled it like she handles everything. I mean, I have kind of firsthand knowledge of Caitlyn Clark here in Indiana. And the way she handles herself is the way I like that. I think most athletes should handle themselves with that professionalism. She got up, she teed off, she played well, she hit one down the middle, but the nerves got to her, and we've all done it. You've duffed one off.
Golf is not an easy sport, even for the best athletes.
But yeah, on national TV, you almost take someone's head off, and I love that someone had the camera angle of the ball coming right at their head.
But speaking of a ball, as you said, Indiana, just a really quick shout out. Last week on game day, the winning kicker from Fishers, Indiana.
Did you see the whole story behind that? Because I'm going to give that guy props. They do a raffle. The girl actually won the raffle, offered it to him. He made it, and then Pat McAfee, who is the adopted Indiana legend here, just kept upping it. Kurt Herbstreit at one point was like, "Wait, you got to stop giving out money." And that kid, under that pressure, nailed that kick
for $800K, $400 to Hurricane Relief, $400 split between the two of them at $200 each. That's pressure.
That's a hell of a payday.
Yeah.
Going back to Caitlyn, by the way, if I am other way, that tournament on that caddy bib behind me in the end of January, beginning of February, the WNBA is not in season at that point. Caitlyn Clark is getting an invite to come play in that golf tournament as a celebrity.
100%. She's the biggest name out there. She loves golf. She says that, she plays here in Indiana at times, like that. When she's not on the court, she's on the course. So,
So Greg, that your new goal. We run it into her. You got to run into her on the golf course.
Well, 100%. We got to get to. We have to get her to come on the Golfing Dads and talk her golf life, not her basketball life.
Not her basketball life. Here. Not that I wouldn't mind listening about the basketball life, Dave. She's from Iowa, so we could talk that. So
Oh, we have so many connections here. So
Yes.
from golf,
And then
Indiana,
there's
and
Steve.
Iowa, and then Steve's here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
we can say Steve's the golf connection.
Well, I just got a text message. Our guests are ready to go tonight.
Let's get
So
right into
why don't
happy hour
we
then.
let's go into happy hour now.
Yeah.
I'd say we are getting fancier and fancier with the intros around this place, and I
try.
am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Thanks, Greg. We're going to continue our PGA Show run here as we lead up to the PGA Show in January. And tonight, I'm pretty excited. Somebody that reached out, and we tried to bump into each other last year at the PGA Show. He is now doing some work with Astral putters, and reached out, and we had a conversation. And I said, let's do this. I'm really excited about this. So Blake and Ryan from Astral Putters, welcome to the Tavern, guys. How are you tonight?
We are good. How are you guys?
Good. What's going on? Where are you guys?
Cheers.
Ryan, I know you're typically in the Tampa area. Where are you at right now?
So yeah, I'm when we tried to meet up at the PGA Show last year, I was actually down in St. Pete and got brought on full time here with Astral. So we're out in Denver. I've been out here for about 2 months.
Okay.
And getting used to seeing snow again.
Let me ask, does the golf ball fly a little higher out there?
Most certainly does. I had to adjust all my distances, and it's nice. I can hit a 7-iron 170 now.
Nice.
I can hit a 7-iron 172. It's just not in the right trajectory.
Yeah, I have some friends out in Denver, and they were out.
When you get to smash a drive, it's definitely a big wake up call when I go back down to sea level.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
a little different. Yeah.
Do you guys have snow out there now?
We had a big storm roll through last week, but the joy of Denver is you get so much sun that it melts within a week. So we got 14 inches last weekend, and I golfed on Sunday. So
that's the way it is. I mean, I flew out. I've ski in Breckenridge and Copper Mountain out there, and have friends that have a place out in Frisco. So we flew into Denver one time. It was 75 and sunny in Denver, but as soon as we got up in the mountains, it was like 20 degrees and snow, and it was great. So I was like, I could play golf and ski at the same time.
It's a perfect buddies trip, right? Like Denver is a forgotten golf destination.
Oh, it's a great place out there. So, well, welcome in. So Blake, you're the founder of Astral Putters. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about how it started and who you guys are?
Sure. So like any good invention, it was a pain point of frustrations for me as a golfer. My weakness in my game has always been my putting, and I've been certain that I've had the wrong putter for as long as I've played golf. So, I think like so many of us, I had a garage full of putters, and I was going through just for like my own pastime of restoring putters. I started looking for like very specific things, but they didn't seem like they were a crazy thing. Like, I wanted a blade putter with no offset, with a little bit of toe hang. Seems like a very basic configuration of a putter, but most manufacturers don't make that one. And the only one I could find was like a collectible Scotty Cameron. And so that kind of really put the perspective on me to look at what the actual marketplace had, and lots of different putters, but they really didn't do very many different things. So, we all have like your plumber's neck blade, you have the face balance mallet, you have a few permutations off that. You had like the flow neck type putters, but there wasn't really anything that kind of gave you a spectrum in between. And so it made me start to really look at putters and ask myself, is there a way I can build a hosel that is adjustable, that kind of gives you the perspective to actually fit the putter to my individual swing? And then that kind of evolved into, well, if I'm going to build an adjustable putter, what other kind of levels of modularity and adjustability can I add to it? And so that kind of expanded out to giving lie adjustment, flexibility. We have face inserts, so we can change the actual material that goes in there. And so what it really gave me the opportunity to do was to build a putter that wasn't going to get relegated to the garage in a matter of months. So that's kind of the foundations of where we are. We're a year into our process, and we have 2 models out right now. We got a blade and a mid mallet. We got a mallet launching, hopefully for the PGA Show. And I think kind of our goal is to start just kind of building out all the modular pieces and start giving people lots of different flexibility to, one, design a putter that looks the way that they want. You know, that was a big point of emphasis for us, was looks. It had to look like a putter that people wanted to look down upon. And then kind of, I think, hit all of the tinkerers out there that want to try all the variations. And so I think it's kind of a fun club that can grow with people as well over time.
Nice.
So, you know, you're talking about, you know, the traditional, non-traditional here, and I got your site up on my other screen here. And while you have some traditional designs, there's nothing really traditional about them. And you have the ability to change your face inserts and hosels, you know, like you're just talking about. Can you kind of describe what makes that adjustability, and why did you decide to go down that road?
Yeah, and we got a couple different things over here to look at, but I don't know if we can actually get up. It's going to fall out of me. So this kind of is just to show you the kind of, you can start mixing and combining different pieces together. So what we designed is we have, and they're all weight controlled and spec controlled. So we have different parts that fit in together. So we have 2 face inserts presently, brass insert, copper insert, 2 different body models. And so that's just the foundations of when you're looking down the putter, what do you want to look down upon? You know, for me, I was always a golfer that fit more into a mallet type putter, but I really liked a blade. And I really kind of struggled with wanting to play a blade because that's what looked good looking down on it, but not the ability to, you know, have a putter that would perform the way I wanted to. So I always kind of felt a little bit mismatched. And so to the point of like, why did I do what I did, was with the ability to make this a modular construction, you know, it gives us the ability to take a blade putter, we get to select a lie angle. And so as we just insert parts, we start changing. These are all come together with different lie angles, but kind of the idea being that we can design this product to actually match my swing. So when we start compiling all the components together, we take, you know, our blade putter, we put the right lie angle in for me, and then we have a rotating adjustable hosel. I can all of a sudden give myself a blade putter that has, you know, 10, 15 degrees of toe hang, which is more suitable to someone that has a less archy stroke, but allows me to use a putter that is really suitable to my eye, and that, you know, for me, my alignment is much more based upon seeing a perpendicular angle rather than like a hard line. And so what we were just really trying to do is to give customers the ability to, you know, have a putter they want without any compromises. You know, you don't have to go buy the wrong putter because it fits you better. You don't have to have a putter that doesn't line up the way you want it to, you know, kind of give you all of the opportunities to really pick the putter that's, when you're looking down at the most confident one, but also matches your stroke.
So I want to get into that, but first I want to ask, understanding the process, how difficult was that to get past the USGA for approval to make it a conforming putter?
So,
Long process.
long process.
As you were talking about it, that's all I could think of was long process. So
Most of the USGA's conforming processes are long processes. So.
For context, Blake was at Pinehurst for a week and didn't get to play any golf.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
that's torture.
Yeah, like awful.
Let me say a couple of things. First and foremost, the USGA compliance group is awesome. Like they are.
Oh yeah.
I have never come across kind of a regulatory body that is so cooperative. They're very strict. They hold the line on what it is to be a conforming club. But, you know, every time that we come and ran into a problem, they call me and be like, here's the problem. What can we do to, you know, how can we design around this problem? And so I think that, you know, everyone complains about them, but I don't know how often that that they really do hear the point that they really are there to get new products in, but they do want to hold it tight. From a design perspective, I mean, the product was designed to be conforming. So, we didn't have any major issues. It was just little small technical things that we had to kind of work around. And like I said, it took, I would say probably 5-6 months to go from initial submission to getting all the approvals. But so it was a harrowing process, but it was more of like nitpicky things that just kind of accumulated and then, send something out, take a month to come back.
All right, so I want to go back to the adjustability question and that you were talking about. And I've been fit for a putter. I have a tour only that's been fit for me, and my hands hang really low. I actually putt with a 3-degree flat putter from standard. Is there a fitting process to make sure that the person who is, putting this putter in his hand is finding the right one, or is it just trial and error, go out and practice on the putting green?
It's a little bit of a combination of both. So first and foremost, one of the biggest things that we really preach is getting lie angle right. And it's an odd how much of an impact your brain looking down on this putter makes. But, a lot of people will really orient the putter so that it sits square on the ground, and then their stroke is not at all where they lined it up. So that, when you find someone that's having a really hard time getting off the toe and heel and finding the center, oftentimes lie angle is really the remedy in that situation. So kind of first things first, you're sitting here telling me you have low hands, you need to go with a flat putter. We're having you actually get out there, measure, stand over the ball, and I'm not telling you where to hold the club. I want you to hold the club where you feel natural, and then we start from there. So, lie angle is probably the most important thing that you get right when you place an order with us, and we have a system to tell you what lie angle you should be fitting yourself into. And then from there, we have a couple different guided fitting protocols. I mean, you can obviously, with every one of our putters, we have unlimited fittings, so we do lots of virtual fittings. And for someone like you, I'm hearing flat, toe up, I'm thinking below blade heavy arc. We kind of start figuring out whatever your stroke type is, and we can either make some recommendations of places to start, and then it's kind of a progression of adjustments between hosels and rotation from there to really work from it. If someone doesn't really know where to start, we have what I would say is a fairly neutral starting place. That's a good part. And then kind of the third option is like go to the opposite extreme. Let's go to you're a heavy archy player, you need something with a lot of toe hang. Let's start at face balance, and let's just keep working from face balance down to that really heavy arc. And what we'll find for most people is that they were never right for a face balance putter, but they probably never should have been using 45, 50, 60, 70 degrees of toe hang. Their actual optimal performance is kind of somewhere in between that world. And so, what we try to send people away with is we have that conversation, we kind of identify how you want to approach it, and we give you 5-6 options that we want you to try. So let's go through this progression. If you get this result, move to this spot. If you don't get this result, go here. And then, let's have a follow-up conversation and see how it's performing.
Okay.
And then the biggest part of what we try to preach is your performance in a fitting bay has to translate to the course. So, whatever we leave you, it's put it to the real test is, are you sinking putts? Are you feeling confident over the ball? And then if you're not having some of those issues, let's come back and kind of break down where you're having some problems and make some adjustments to address those.
So that kind of leads into my next question. So if I'm getting a putter through you and I order it and we do all the fittings, is the putter just like set like that, or can I buy a kit that has like the different faces so that if I want to change it out at home, like I get to the golf course and you said I'm feeling this is a little bit different, how does that work if I'm ordering something? Is it set the way that, or is there a kit, or is it both?
Your choice.
Okay.
So
Oh, even better.
yeah. So
Dealer's choice. Let's go.
our marquee product is our Fit Kit putter, and that is going to come with the choice of whichever body style you want, one face, and then 3 different hosels, which gets you a total of 60 different kind of club configurations in it.
Okay.
And 1 lie adapter. Now, if you want to expand that and try different things, we're of course interested in, pleasing our customers. So, we can add on different parts. A lot of people do like to order 2 faces. They want to try the brass, they want to try the copper. My position on this one is my hope is that we get you into a putter that you're really confident in, and we're not changing it around a lot. People always ask, like, well, should I change it? Something's happened. Like, I want you to change it if your performance isn't working well or you've lost confidence in the putter. If you are confident in it, don't try to fix what ain't broke.
So I'm going to ask another question alongside of that. And I'm asking you because you're the putter expert and I'm just the guy that has like 500 putters in the bag over here. And I like my putters, but sometimes, and this is great because you're in Colorado, so you get both seasons. You're not just in Florida and I'm here in Indiana. So sometimes when it's hotter out, I like having a different face than when it's colder out. So is that something you kind of see sometimes? Like maybe I want to use one face during one season and a different face during a different season, or am I just crazy? Is the real question.
No, I think that's
yes.
right.
Yes, the answer to that is yes.
Hey, they're the putter professionals, not you, Steve.
So, we have in Colorado, the greens are typically pretty fast and pretty hard. So, we don't have the massive variation from winter to summer where you go into like, the bush that you're trying to putt through. But, so oftentimes what we have is people that be playing in a tournament where they have the greens really turned up and they may be used to using the brass. They may want to go to the copper because it rolls a little bit slower. Vice versa, we have kind of some prototypes. They'll be launching soon, but, carbon steel faces. We'll have a bunch of other materials that will roll out here in the near future, which will have different play characteristics. So I do think that the ability to substitute the part and change, or at least even just psychosomatic, I feel more confident this putter isn't going to roll quite as fast. I'm more comfortable standing over the ball and hitting it as opposed to really just trying to barely tap it. So I think that is something nice. And I was playing in a tournament with a customer that had one, and he came over and he's like, do you have that copper face? And he did it. And I was asking him, I was like, did you really tell a difference? He's like, I don't know if I saw a difference or not, but I felt much more confident, that I wasn't going to overhit the putt. And I was like, that's what we want.
Nice.
The other kind of interesting variation on that question is, for the putter collector, one of the cool things about the way our system is set up is you can have multiple putter heads and change them to kind of, you might have something that you really like for, special occasions or whatever the case may be. But as you start changing them, performance is going to remain the same. So, you might have one that's got your school colors on it, for example, that you play sometimes, and you pull out your steady black one, and they're going to play just the same, but you can kind of spice up your club if you want. We got a couple different variations over here of just like different stuff that we've done. I won't be able to do justice to this one. This is a Damascus putter here.
The American flag was the
I like that.
July giveaway that we did this past year. So
that modularity is kind of fun. And one of my partners who is in here with us, we joke with him, he's got like a fleet of putters that he's, just constantly cycling out, but he can cycle them out without having to feel like he's kind of changed the performance characteristics of his putter.
Okay. So how many? Well, here let's bring Dave back.
Dave back?
The show. Yep. So Dave.
Hey,
Netflix fixed itself live. Okay, thanks, Dave.
I got Netflix. Yeah.
So
Dave, we're on you.
We're on you.
Yeah.
I have no clue where we are. Just keep going. I have no clue.
Okay.
So I'll ask with Dave there. So you said you have the 2 head models right now, and you have another head model that's probably coming out during the PGA show. So are those the 3 models, or are you guys coming out with more, or what can you talk about with the different, how many different models of putters that you have?
Yes, sure.
So one of the things we noticed a lot in launching kind of the blade and the mid mallet was just the popularity of mallet putters right now. And so what we really wanted to focus on was having those 3 options. And so super, super excited. We did just place an order for the mallet. Prototyping, we had 3 or 4 designs that we all really loved. Kind of like a Fang style, one with a little bit more of a circular back. Kind of modeling some of the styles that you see at like some of the larger manufacturers make. But for us, it's really, having an option that fits that body style for each of the golfers that are choosing to play our putters. And then with the adjustability, you can find those different configurations. So finding something that 1 suits your eye, and then 2 tweaking, the hosel, the lie adapter, the face inserts to get that tailored fit. That's really going to perform well with your game.
And to continue on that one, so the idea is, I think, to continually grow out the lineup of what we're doing. So I don't know if we're necessarily going to phase out different putters, but we have a blade putter. We may be changing a different variation of that blade. We just talked about the mallet, so right now, kind of the next 2 up to get released are going to be our proper mallet, and then a Fang style mallet. And so I think that kind of what we're selling that inventory will increase and gives just more flexibility to the eye. The biggest thing for us, or at least for me from the design perspective, is with our modular construction, we have some flexibility to be really creative with weight and how we do it. And so for me, I'm really focused on kind of whatever designs that we come back with, that we really are maximizing kind of forgiveness and moving that center of gravity as deep back in the putter as we possibly can. And so, playing a blade, a lot of people play a blade. I don't really like blades, and they hit it, and they're like, well, that feels really great. I feel really good with that one. It's like, it's been designed very intentionally to really try to make that blade be a very easy club to play with. So, kind of the speed that we release them is really honestly satisfying my level that we've kind of really maximized the performance we can get out of that design.
Okay. You guys were at the PGA Show last January. You're going to be there again this year. I'm actually excited to stop by, put a putter in my hand, also shake Ryan's hand. We've, talked a little bit ahead of time and, get to meet face to face. But can you talk about being a brand like yourself, a putter only brand? What's your benefit in being at the PGA Show?
Yeah. And so, I mean, for us, we have kind of 2 different stories. So last year we were on the beginning of our story launching, and in truth, it was really a validation game. So we were there, we had an idea that we thought was a really great idea. We knew we had a really great product. The question is, there's a ton of things that show up at that show that are really cool. They're really not moving the needle. People may think it's very interesting, but it's really not anything that's going to drive interest. And so a big part of our experience at the show was really testing that very in-tune, sophisticated market and see what the response was. And so, we got everything we hoped for and then some. People were just really ecstatic with the idea of bringing something new to the putter game that just hadn't been out there. So that was a big portion of what we were trying to do. And then the other part was just creating awareness. Year 2, our goals are a little bit different. I think we're definitely be trying to drive some more media attention to what we're doing, get the word out. We were at the show last year. We did not have kind of inventory on the heels of the show, and we had, I think, a whole real groundswell of support at the show, but really didn't have the ability to execute on it. So we're real excited this year to go there, again, continue to validate the design, the concepts, introduce people to the possibility of opening it up. Then, I think the other part is really starting to create a network of fitters and professionals that know what our product is and can actually start to incorporate incorporate it in their fitting processes, their showrooms, etc.
Will you guys also be at demo day?
We are not presently on the putting green out of
Demo day. Okay.
on the fence of whether that will happen or not.
Okay.
Do you want us to just carry a putter for you out there when we're out there?
We're
We'll
gonna
just walk around a little.
We're gonna have the coat with putters because
There you go. Yeah, it's like, hey, you want putters?
yeah.
I love that idea. I think that would be hilarious.
It wouldn't be the first time some of
yeah,
us
it
have
wouldn't
walked
be the
around in
first
a
time.
trench coat
Yeah.
and said, I got something.
Little guerrilla marketing for you.
Yeah, there you go. Just walk around and be like, hey, you want a putter? I got a putter. So with that, I mean, a lot of the PGA Show is a huge event and takes a lot of preparation each year. A lot of companies out there, they're dumping in a lot of advertising and marketing and money in there. So what are you guys doing to prep for this? Because that's what we're talking about here is the PGA Show and getting ready for that. We know what it's like for us to prep for it, but for you guys, what does that prep kind of look like to get ready for this show?
You want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, so it's really just a lot of marketing, right? Like we're hammering all the media contacts, working the connections that we've made in the golf scene. You know, Steve's been great. We hadn't had an opportunity to connect in person, but the second I texted him, he was, they come on the show, right? And so doing events like this, meeting people and setting connections, and we're really excited about the mallet, and we think that's going to really help with capitalizing on some of that initial interest that we got last year and kind of reinvigorating people to, one, see the uniqueness of our product, the innovative technology that we have, but two, also just being able to showcase and demo it in person, right? Being a new brand in a very popular market is difficult because, people are wanting to test a product before they buy it. So this is the perfect opportunity for them to, one, pop over to the booth, have a conversation, and two, we're going to be on the putting green at the show. So right next to the NBC Sports broadcast that they have there. So they'll be able to roll some putts and kind of talk through it. We're going to be offering some putter fittings as well. So give, people an example of, one, how quick it is to fit yourself with an Astral putter, and two, just, being able to feel it, right? And I think so much of putting is the feel and the response that you get when you actually use the club. So, I think we're going to let the product do a lot of talking for us, but, again, capitalize on media opportunities and publicity and work in our network.
Oh, we'll 100%
Greg,
come.
Greg, yeah, I was going to say, I'm thinking about a video already.
Oh, I was
already.
I already had it in my mind coming over. And I want to try out the putter. I want to try out the mallet putter too, because that's what I use. And I love the idea of being able to customize it to fit to you, because you have something that no other putter brand has out there of that customization, and not just like, oh, we make this style putter with this face and this style putter with this face. You make it so you can adjust those putters to fit everyone personally. And I think that's going to be a great thing to kind of see at the show. So yeah, we'll definitely come out and want to help you with that media stuff.
Hey, Greg, really quickly, can you blow their image up on here? We've got a request to see, to show a putter. So Ryan, can you get one? And Greg, can you blow them up so it shows a little bigger, not in that square?
Yep. Oh, hold on a second.
Hold on a second,
So,
Ryan. We're gonna get
it up there.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep, there we go.
So this is the copper insert in our blade style.
Or no, mid mallet.
Mid mallet. I like that.
You can see about 70 degrees or 60 degrees of toe hang.
I'm worried about your math.
Yeah.
But it's more like 30.
And then this
Ryan
is
wasn't
another
a math
beverage.
major.
it's going to be our blade with the brass insert.
And then you also have, like you said, the hosel changes too. So
Yeah.
So like this is a patinaed one. So we have a bunch of different kind of fun stuff, but yeah, the flexibility to kind of change the hosel, and to go back to something that Greg was asking earlier. I mean, one of the impetus of designing the putter the way we did was that, you walk out of a storeroom, maybe you did get fit, but you're getting coached while you're getting fit. It's not translating that was one of my frustrations, is what I fit into didn't necessarily translate to great results. And so, with the ability to change this throughout the entire life of it, it's like, let's start by getting you in the range of where you should be fit, and then let you actually spend time and actually validate it for yourself. And I would say that's, uniformly across the case, our customers, they come back in and they're just like, hey, it's amazing. It's just so easy to get the ball in line. And it's like, that's because you're not compensating. We've really taken a lot of that compensation out of your game.
And a lot of people don't understand like the hosel and that kind of thing. And you're making that kind of the norm with this adjustability in there, which I think is really neat.
Yeah, and I would say that's been probably the biggest obstacle is the information gap around how changing these characteristics affects your performance.
Yep.
And we try to design our fitting system to be a little bit methodical, where you go through it, where even if you don't have that level of sophistication, it's kind of like it's a process of advance from hosel to hosel, then rotate it, advance from hosel to hosel, rotate it. But for the people that really do understand that sort of thing, we really do give you the flexibility to get a very fine-tuned adjustments. And as opposed to be moving in 15, 20 degree increments, we're talking 2, 3, 4 degree increments. And that really does make a difference in terms of just how consistent you can be.
So, you're talking about, your inserts, and, I may have missed part of this while I got Netflix there. But do you feel what's your biggest benefit for being at the show? Is it for being at the booth, having people come by and see you there at the booth at 1100A, or having people try out the product out there on the putting green?
Without a doubt, trying out the putter on the putting green. Brian kind of gave a little bit of a tasty treat on it. The adjustability in our putter is what we designed this putter to be. But the thing that sells more for our putters than anything else is the feel. We do feel really, really well. So, I think that the idea of people look at an upstart brand, they don't know what to think. When they hit our putter for the first time, we get jaws dropped. It's like, whoa, that feels good. What's going on here? And so when we're able to kind of get people's first reaction to just love the way the putter feels, and then to kind of layer on all that adjustability, it really kind of changes the perspective. So, I think the booth is a great place to get some information. We'll have some wives there who will tell you to go talk to us over on the putting green, because their level of knowledge is not so great. But definitely come see us on the putting green, because that's really where the opportunity exists to kind of really see what we're all about. And I think, again, for us, a lot of people.
Obviously 2023 was a success at the PGA Show for you guys coming back this year. Besides being on our show that week, what are you guys looking forward to the most of being at the PGA Show?
What do we think? I don't know, standing on my feet for 14 hours straight.
It's a long week, yeah.
A long week and a long day. Yeah, but it's like you got the energy. Go ahead.
It's a long week, but it really is the mecca for golf in the U.S. Just seeing all the product launches, everyone's being there. New companies, I know they added, like Vice is going to be there. A couple other big companies have announced that they're going to be there. It just seems to grow every year, and it's really exciting to see what people come up with. One of my favorite things just going as an attendee, this is actually how I met Astral and was able to kind of connect with these guys was, just walking around the inventor booths, right? Like what sort of crazy ideas that people come up with, what sort of problems are people trying to solve that are unique to golfers, and things that all of us experience. And we walk around and we go, God damn it, why didn't I think of that? But it is really cool to see and to see some of that innovation. So that's really what I'm looking forward to.
And I'll say for my part, there's been so much conversation about declining interest in the PGA Show. Do you go to the PGA Show or do you not go to the PGA Show? I think this year coming up is going to be a real really well populated and a real revival of it. And like, I think that's so cool for all the reasons that Ryan just said. I mean, I'm so excited to see brands coming back to it, brands expanding their attention to it. I think it's a great opportunity to, as a manufacturer, to see what other people are interested in, to see what the consumers are wanting. I mean, it's a real opportunity that I don't know that many kind of industries have, of such a concentration of kind of people at one place.
So with that, you said that your wives are going to be running kind of the booth there, which we see with a lot of people at the show. Do you have anything else that helps your booth stand out at the show that you're planning?
So Ryan's got all kinds of plans, but he doesn't have a budget in mind.
Yeah. Possibility, right?
Wow.
Have putter.
Free beer.
One of the things that we did last year and we'll be doing again this year is that, words are great. One of the cool things about our product is you can kind of engage with it and actually interact with it and play with it. And I think that kind of each year I try to think of different ways that I can try to let people really appreciate and understand. And rather than asking the question, they can actually start playing with it, seeing it. I mean, one of the things, this is from last year, but it's again, the same concept here is, like as we start, you can take your putter on there, we get one toe hang, take it off, manipulate it, and you get, I can get on. All of a sudden something different. And, you kind of, as we start, to me, like I can tell you about what changing the hosel does, but for you to actually be able to physically change it and see it and start to see like, oh, I can make, really subtle changes as this moves all around. To me, I think that's a really.
I'm a visual learner. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, but it's also just fun. I mean, it's interact with the product, feel it, see it. I mean, I think that one of the things that's great about our product, but also bad from a manufacturer's standpoint is, I mean, the tolerances to make a product like this work are really, really small. And so like, that's something also I think that I can't really express to people until they feel the product and they see how tight everything fits together and how, kind of the level of precision of involved, like of machining something like this. I think that kind of really is something that until you actually see the parts disassembled and start putting them together, you don't have any appreciation of like, wow, that's like, we got less than 1,000th of a tolerance on this connection point.
Oh, I like that. Before we let you guys go, we want to make sure that you guys get the word out. Where besides obviously your booth and then 1100A, I believe, is also the putting green there at the PGA Show. If someone is watching this, they're looking for their new putter, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so website is astralputters.com. We're actually running a pretty big Black Friday sale right now between now and 11:59 p.m. on Friday the 29th. 20% off everything on the store, free custom engraving as well. So we partnered with some guys out here that do laser etchings and engraving. So if you want to throw, your initials or something that's sentimental towards you and throw that on the club as well, we're going to kick that in for free. And then we're Astral Putters on Instagram and Astral Putters Ltd on Facebook. So shoot us a follow.
Awesome.
Feel free to DM if you guys got any questions.
I think one other plug just to throw in there is that we have a 30-day money back guarantee on it, where we want you to use it. We want you to prove it to yourself that it's working well. So we try to tell people, order the product. If you don't like it, send it back to us. Cross our fingers, no one's ever returned the product. We've had really good reception on it, but it's one of those things that it's a new company. You got to try it for yourself, and once you actually kind of see it, it usually does a pretty good job convincing you that it's a good product.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for joining us tonight, Ryan. It's great to see you on here. I can't wait till that third week in January, and we can't wait to see you guys. Have a good one, and happy holidays also to you guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks
guys
for
so
having
much
us
for
around.
having us. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So that's an awesome putter. It's an awesome concept for most people that are out there. I think that's the thing we miss out. Like, you can go into a golf store, see these putters, see the same putter and all these different hosels, and the average fan out there that's watching our show doesn't know what all those hosels make that much of a difference in your putt. They're bringing that to life with this fitting and really dialing in a putter for you. So check them out.
Nice. Hey, it's that time of the night. It's Smack of the Week. Smack of the Week is brought to you by What the Village Is.
This is how they choose the mayor of the villages.
That is how they choose the mayor. No, the HOA president. That's
Yeah,
the HOA president election right there.
They play golf cart chicken.
Yeah.
So it's that's how they play.
They're
that.
jousting with drivers.
All right, let's get into last call. So, go ahead, Steve.
I want to continue our conversation here. Last call, we were talking about the PGA Show with the guys with Ryan and Blake, and talk about the fact that places like Demo Day, and then they have the putting green inside the convention center, and you have the hitting area inside the convention center that we can all go pick up golf clubs, hit them, see how they feel, see how they react. They allow you to, if you're hitting a driver, they're going to fit you and put different shafts in and allow that adjustability in that. I think it's one of the cool things about the show, and it allows us that opportunity. And I think one of our goals that weekend, and we've talked about this, is being able to show that through our social media posts, through our interviews that week. Greg, I want to ask you, what are you looking forward to the most about the equipment side of it? Yeah.
I think that's the big thing for me every year going to the show, even when I went before we were doing this. And it's being in this industry and getting to kind of get hands-on to new equipment. I think for years we talked about how this was the big show. This is where everything was shown, like Callaway, TaylorMade. They didn't bring out their equipment till show week. Like, that's when they premiered all of that stuff. That's not the case anymore. But what excites me now is brands like this that get to showcase their stuff and their new stuff that I might not get in the mainstream, that I can go try out, and that becomes the mainstream. So seeing those brands, like, that's like seeing like what Desert Fox had, seeing what Oars and Alps had for us last year with different things that go with the golf industry. Like, getting to feel and see the brands that are out there and try them out makes it that much unique, because then that lets us bring that fun stuff to you. We get to go see it, talk about it, and then we get to share that experience with you all. And that's the most fun, is that we can share what we get to experience with all of you that watch our show.
I think back a couple years ago, and it's someone we've had on our show in the past in golf brands, and what they've done, like last year, relaunching the Hogan line and being able to walk in and see the new Hogan line of clubs and or the other brands that they carry. I feel like that is one of those cool things for us to be able to show through our lens and see what we see and see how much we like them. Dave?
Greg froze.
Greg did freeze. He got Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah. he got Netflix drinking.
It's a great shot of Greg right there.
It is.
I mean, for me, I kind of got to echo a lot of Greg's, same statements there. It's one thing to walk into, the Superstore or Dick's or something like that, and hit the new TaylorMade or Callaway or Cleveland or something like that. There at the show, we're running into, our friends like at Desert Fox, at American Fit, at, Sunday Golf, all these, these different brands that you're not necessarily seeing, out there on the mainstream. We're getting, the hands-on experience that we can that you remember this show is not, you can't just walk in off the street to this show. It's for the industry, but we can take our lens and our perspectives and, take that and bring it back out to all of our viewers and everybody else. And, say, hey, Dave still can't hit a straight shot, but it felt a lot better in his hands.
That's true.
Yeah.
I look forward to days like demo day. And demo day, one of two things always happens, and I hate this for the PGA show. It's either it's either freezing cold and raining, because we've seen that there, or a rainstorm blows through, or the weather is absolutely
6,000 degrees, and yeah.
I look forward to being able to put the clubs in my hand, see what it does. I always feel bad at demo day, and they can't change it because Mother Nature is the ultimate control artist in this one. One of the club manufacturers always ends up, you've got to hit dead into the wind on every shot, and it's literally the funniest thing, because if you get downwind, like you typically that time of year the wind blows, so if you get downwind, any of the bigger hitters can come close. Like a couple years ago, Cleveland had Jamie Sledowski there, former long drive dude, who pounds it, and he was hitting downwind on that range at Orange County, and I'm just sitting there giggling, going, "Who's he going to kill on somebody?" The other side? Yeah, Jamie's going to hurt somebody. But no, that is one of those things that I really I look forward to. I look forward to standing on that putting green, and we had a really good conversation last year on that putting green with the guys from Makefield, and John McGinnis was there. We talked to John about some other things. And it was a fun conversation. And so I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get there. I hope everybody else really enjoyed our show tonight. We're going to wrap here. Go check out last week's version of the Halfway House. Dave and I debated handicaps. And on this week's version, we might be coming up with some PGA Tour talk. So hope everybody has a great week. And we definitely look forward to seeing you next week on Thanksgiving week.
Cheers, y'all.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having the opportunity to build something that's
viral on our TikTok, that somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits for 700